What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 11. Millionaire Maker.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay guys, this is for the Millionaire Maker slate, which is the Sunday main slate at 1 p.m. Oh, and stick around to the very end of this video. After I show you all my picks in the Draft Dashboard tools, I'll show you these players in DraftKings and in FanDuel, the Millionaire Maker slates. There'll be 2 spots open that you have to fill in, but you'll have a great Millionaire Maker core. Okay guys, NFL Week 11. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. So my Millionaire Maker quarterback for Week 11, I'm going to save some salary with this pick. So I like Derek Carr from the Las Vegas Raiders playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing quarterbacks. Derek Carr has averaged 20.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2.8 rush attempts per game. He's only going to be about 6% owned, projected at 19.4 fantasy points here in Week 11. But I like this pick because he's only $5,900 DraftKings salary. He's $1,300 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 49.5 points scored in this game, with the Raiders favored by half a point. So you got a decently high scoring game here and a super close competitive game. So this game could turn into a shootout, and Derek Carr has scored 19, 13, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So it wasn't the best performance for Derek Carr last game, but he still put up 19 fantasy points, and he's got a pretty decent ceiling if he can get going. He can get you 25 plus fantasy points, and at $5,900 DraftKings salary and relatively low ownership, and I got a player I want to stack with Derek Carr, so I like Derek Carr here versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My Millionaire Maker running back is James Conner from the Arizona Cardinals playing the Seattle Seahawks, who have the 12th worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing running backs. James Conner has averaged 14.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 12.5 rush attempts per game and 1.4 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 18% owned, projected at 15.6 fantasy points here in Week 11, and he's only $6,100 DraftKings salary, $1,100 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 50 points scored in this game, with the Cardinals favored by 2.5. So great running back matchup here, and James Conner has scored 15, 40, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 10, 21, and 5 rush attempts. But in the past 2 games, he's been getting much more volume. He also got 4 and 5 pass targets the past 2 games. So that's 14 touches last week. And the week before that, he had 26 touches. So he's got a spike in volume. He's been productive. His ownership is high, but that's because his salary is low, and he's got a fantastic matchup this week. So I like James Conner here versus the Seattle Seahawks. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. My Millionaire Maker wide receiver is Brandon Cooks from the Houston Texans playing the Tennessee Titans, who have the 7th worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Brandon Cooks has averaged 15.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 9.3 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 89% of the snaps, touches the ball 17% of that time. He's going to be about 10% owned, projected at 15.7 fantasy points here in week 11. And he's only 6,000 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 45 points scored in this game, with the Texans trailing by 10.5. So you get a fantastic matchup in what should be a passing game script. And Brandon Cooks has scored 12, 20, and 7 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 13, 6, and 7 pass targets. So we got 13 targets last week, and he's been playing well all season long. He's had a bunch of huge monster games, just getting a ton of volume. So I like Brandon Cooks here versus the Tennessee Titans. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. This is the player I wanted to stack with Derek Carr. So my Millionaire Maker tight end is Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing tight ends. Darren Waller has averaged 13.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.9 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 90% of the snaps, and he's going to be about 14% owned, projected at 15.2 fantasy points here in week 11. He's only 6,100 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 49.5 points scored in this game, with the Raiders trailing by half a point. So Darren Waller has scored 6 and 16 fantasy points in the last 2 games off of 7 and 11 pass targets. Now, it was a lackluster game for Darren Waller last week. The Las Vegas Raiders just couldn't get anything going. Everything was going wrong for them. So I do expect a major bounce back game here this week. So I like Darren Waller here versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
You've unlocked the bonus content. Okay guys, here we are in the DraftKings lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here. We've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Derek Carr, Elijah Mitchell, James Conner, Michael Gallup, Marquise Brown, Brandon Cooks, Darren Waller, James Robinson, and the Washington football team. I love this lineup, guys. Elijah Mitchell, He's only 5,800 DraftKings salary. He's playing really well. He didn't have a touchdown last week, but he scored 12.9, 22.7, and 19.7 fantasy points in the 3 weeks before that. So he's been playing really well. And then Michael Gallup just got back for the Dallas Cowboys, and he scored 7.2 fantasy points last week. He's only 4,200 DraftKings salary, so he's got double-digit upside at a low price tag. And then I think Marquise Brown is one of the studs on the slate this week, and he's only going to be about 2% owned. And then you got James Robinson, who's having a fantastic year and scored 18.4 fantasy points last week at only 6,400 DraftKings salary. So I love this lineup. So I'm going to save this lineup so I can optimize it later if anything changes. Okay, now here we are in the FanDuel lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here, and we've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Derek Carr, Joe Mixon, James Conner, Brandon Cooks, Marquise Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Darren Waller, AJ Brown, and the Cardinals defense. So we got Marquise Brown again. We could swap him out for Amari Cooper or DeAndre Hopkins or Adam Thielen or Terry McLaurin. So a lot of options at this position if you want to change out, swap out Marquise Brown. But the rest of the guys in the lineup, I really like. I love Joe Mixon this week, and we're kind of running back Joe Mixon here versus our Las Vegas Raiders stack in Derek Carr and Darren Waller. So if the Las Vegas Raiders fall behind in this game, maybe Derek Carr has to throw the ball a ton to Darren Waller. They hook up for a couple touchdowns. We've completed our stack. Then we have Joe Mixon to run it back. And I like the rest of this lineup. Let's see if we don't want AJ Brown. Same thing here. We can go with Amari Cooper, Travis Kelce. We could plug in right there. Go double tight ends. So I'm going to go ahead and swap that to Travis Kelce. So I'm going to save this lineup so I can optimize it later if anything changes. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.